Section 11 Fee of the ATA deals specifically with the act of directing terrorist activities. This section criminalizes the planning, facilitation, and execution of terrorist acts, both within Pakistan and abroad. It targets individuals in leadership positions within terrorist organizations or those providing material support, resources, or instructions for carrying out attacks. The penalty for violating Section 11V is life imprisonment and forfeiture of assets, reflecting the gravity with which the law views such offenses. Recent amendments have further strengthened this section, increasing the penalty for directing terrorist activities to life imprisonment, highlighting a trend towards stricter enforcement and a commitment to dismantling terrorist networks. Section 11W of the ATA addresses the role of publication and dissemination of material in inciting hatred and promoting terrorism. This section prohibits the printing, publishing, or distribution of any content that incites religious, sectarian, or ethnic hatred, or glorifies individuals or organizations involved in terrorism. The law recognizes the potential of inflammatory material to incite violence and fuel extremism, aiming to curb the spread of hateful ideologies that can contribute to a climate of fear and intolerance. However, the ATA includes an exception for good faith, factual news reporting, aiming to protect legitimate journalistic activities while addressing the spread of harmful propaganda. Violations of Section 11W can result in imprisonment of up to 5 years and a fine. Lynching and civil commotion Sections 11W and 11X. Sections 11W and 11X of the ATA focus on specific forms of violence and public disorder that can undermine security and stability. Section 11W directly addresses the issue of lynching, criminalizing acts where individuals or groups take the law into their own hands, inflicting punishment, including harm or death, on someone accused or suspected of a crime. The inclusion of this section highlights the severity with which the law views mob violence and extrajudicial killings, emphasizing the importance of due process and the rule of law. Section 11X deals with actions that create civil commotion, often used in conjunction with the Maintenance of Public Order Ordinance. This section aims to prevent and punish activities that disrupt public peace and order, such as riots, unlawful assemblies, and incitement to violence. However, the broad language used in Section 11X has raised concerns about its potential for misuse. Critics argue that the vague definition of civil commotion could be used to stifle legitimate dissent and peaceful protests, potentially infringing on the right to freedom of assembly. Anti-terrorism courts' jurisdiction, establishment, and composition. The ATA establishes a specialized judicial framework for handling terrorism-related cases, aiming to ensure swift and effective prosecution. Section 12 outlines the jurisdiction of anti-terrorism courts, granting them the authority to adjudicate a wide range of offenses listed under the ATA. These courts are empowered to hear cases related to terrorist attacks, financing of terrorism, membership in banned organizations, and other activities deemed detrimental to national security. Section 13 provides for the establishment of anti-terrorism courts, ensuring a dedicated judicial mechanism for addressing terrorism-related crimes. Section 14 outlines the composition and appointment procedures for presiding officers of anti-terrorism courts, aiming to ensure their expertise and experience in handling complex terrorism cases. The ATA's provisions, particularly those related to proscription jurisdiction and the broad definition of terrorism-related offenses, have sparked debate regarding their potential impact on civil liberties. Concerns have been raised about the possibility of the ATA being used to silence dissent, target political opponents, and restrict freedom of expression. The lack of transparency in prescription processes, where organizations can be banned based on information from any credible source without a hearing, has further fueled these concerns.